You have no original manuscripts of your filthy trash book, your book of porn, your book of filth, inspired by Saint Muhammad's father. But you still say it's the perfect verbatim word of God, though the extant copies of the Quran have thousands of manuscript variants. And even among the Muslim scholars, they'll admit that with the Uthmanic recension, you guys know this, I'm preaching to the choir, but just give you a little review. The Uthmanic recension, meaning the Quran that Uthman standardized, because he had all the other Qurans that were copied down by Muhammad's companions, eye and ear witnesses of Muhammad, that were producing Qurans that were at variance with one another, contradicting with one another, leading the Muslims to come to blows and kill each other. So Uthman had all of them destroyed, and he standardized the copy that was initially produced by Zayd and made copies of that. Now, even from that Uthmanic recension, Mus'haf, variant readings arose. Pay attention. This is in the Muslim sources. So that they had dozens of variant Arabic versions of the Uthmanic recension. So that about 300 years later, 7 of these multiple, manifold Arabic versions of the Uthmanic recension were standardized, and these 7 were transmitted through 2 transmitters for a total of 14, and then 3 others were added for good measure. Who did it? Muslims that came about 300 years later. Not Allah, not Muhammad. So that today you have various qira'at. Qira'at of the Quran. Qira'at means reading, and we're talking about the Arabic variations. So if you're talking about corruption, your Quran is so corrupt, it's less reliable and less useful than toilet paper. Flush it down the toilet. The Bible is better attested and better preserved than the Quran. This is a fact. Guys, I'm not lying. This is a fact. Historically, textually, archaeologically, the Bible is superior in its preservation. It has better attestation supporting its preservation in the Quran. And here, this is simple. Guys, fact check me. Internet, you can't get away with lying. We have nearly 30,000 copies, over 25,000 copies of the various books of the Bible in various languages. When it comes to the books of the New Testament written in Koine Greek, we have about 5,300 plus copies in Greek of the various books of the New Testament. In Latin, we have nearly 10,000 copies. Did you know that? The largest number of copies of the biblical books are in Latin, nearly 10,000. And then we have thousands of other copies in various languages like Aramaic, Syriac, Sahidic, Coptic, Armenian, Gothic, all preserved, showing that it would be humanly impossible for any one person or group of people to then gather all the copies and standardize one official version and burn the rest. And from that one version, copies stem. That's what Uthman did to the Quran. Glory to Jesus, we had no Uthman do it to the Bible. So the Quran, in comparison to the biblical preservation, is trash. It's garbage. It doesn't come close. And these are simply facts.